My title is a Strategic Insights Manager. A lot of people say, what does that mean? My joke is I work for every department because I do. I work for our marketing department doing speeches like this, as well as workshops. And I also work with our technology teams, sales and services teams to make sure all of our clients get the information they need to be successful. What we're here to talk about today is who does not want to have successful email campaigns. It's important to note that email is 40 times more effective at acquiring new customers than any other marketing channel out there. And marketing automation can provide up to a 66% higher conversion rate than using social media or even plain mailing campaigns through regular mail. Email marketing is your brand differentiator because you have the ability to target and personalize your email. That's hard to do on social media because you'd have to send a message to each person on social media. With email, you can do it in a batch, send it out, and still have it feel personalized and have it be highly targeted. What we'll learn today is how to be successful with your email campaigns and learn a little bit about marketing automation in case that's something that you might be doing more of down the road. At the end of the day, what we're looking for is the results, right? We're looking for that treasure. We do not want to create emails or social posts so that they fall on deaf ears and you've wasted your time. And then you have to answer to someone else and they say, how did the campaigns do? And if they're not doing well, the whole marketing process is questioned, right? Email marketing is so effective because 95% of consumers or people that buy things use email. When you sign up for a social media platform or an account, what do you need to sign up? An email address. It's very relevant. It's been around for 46 years and it's still growing very strong. It's a place that people visit every day. They always check their emails. How many of you check your email when you first get up in the morning? Majority of you, I'm impressed. According to the IDC, 80% of us check our phones within 15 minutes of waking up. Email is still relevant. It establishes trust and builds loyalty with people over time. If it's done right, it increases brand awareness. So even if they do not click on a link in your email and sign up for something or join, your organization, it's still building that brand awareness. And over time, there may be something happening. And it allows you to target and personalize. I mentioned that already, but it's very effective when you use the data you have. 72% of consumers prefer to use email for their preferred method of communication. That's why it's important to make sure you're doing things right, and that's why we're having this conversation today. 81% of consumers say that they're more likely to make an additional purchase or maybe renew a subscription or something based on previous habits and behaviors that they've done through email. I love to talk about how, as a society, we've become empowered. We're now empowered consumers. Everybody has a mobile device. There's one right here on the table for me, and everyone in this room probably has one. We're able to look up information on the fly, pricing, competitors, referrals, and reviews. You can find out information on making a purchase. Years ago, you'd have to do your research over time, visit a couple stores by driving there, then make a decision. So right now, they're able to do that. They're smart. They're going to be able to tap into their social network and ask for referrals. Where should I eat tonight? What should I do? What is a great brand of car? If I'm looking to go camping and I need to pull a camper, what's good for me? They're able to find that very quickly. They'll also find that they're vocal. They're going to talk about the experiences they have, whether it's positive or negative. They're going to be quick to share things on their social network, whether it's good or bad, but it can help you because if you give them a positive experience or give them helpful information, they'll share that out. And they're committed. They're going to expect you to be loyal to them, and they'll be loyal to you as long as there's that trust and you're providing valuable information. And I always like to mention they're global. Even though someone may live in another country, they can do research on making purchases, or if they're coming to visit, they can look up information about when they will be somewhere else or get something shipped to their house. Or if somebody's just looking for information from an organization such as yours, they can get it wherever they are. It's important that you do the right things with email, because if you don't, you're going to find out that negative things are going to start happening. You want to make sure you have a proper sending frequency. You don't want to send every day. Maybe it's once a week or once a month. You need to find out from your subscribers how often they want emails. You want to test things. You want to test your subject lines. You want to test content, images, a whole bunch of different things, because some things may work, some things may not. Oftentimes, I'll think something's going to be great, especially on social media. I'm going to get 100 likes on this picture, but then I go back and I got 2. I thought it was awesome, but my audience didn't. You want to build trust. This way they know what they're going to expect from you and want to consume that content in that email, rather than it being something that's spammy and they're going to basically ignore or delete it. And don't overdo it, because 47% of people say that if I get too many emails, I'm just going to opt out or not be engaged anymore. Metrics that matter. You guys are in B2B mostly. The stats that I'm going to talk about are very comparable. I didn't go down and drill down into a specific niche for you guys, but I looked up some comparisons. For open rates, you want to be somewhere in a 20 percentile, probably 22 to 26%. I don't know what you're getting now, but what you want to do is use that as a benchmark and try to strive for that, or do better than that. Click rates, 5% would be good, around there, and that's pretty good for B2B. And bounces, or email addresses that do not exist, you want to be less than 1% of that send. You'd be amazed that sometimes some people have higher bounce rates, and we'll get into why that's negative in a little while. The unsubscribe rate should be 0.05% or 5 per 1,000. If the number starts climbing, that means there's something wrong with those emails. That means the content's not valuable, it's not interesting, they didn't ask for the email, therefore they're going to become disengaged. I want to talk about a couple of the building blocks of email success that I think are important. The first one's going to be segmentation. If you're not segmenting, you need to do that now. If you segment, you have the possibility of increasing your email revenue by 760%. I've worked with people that come on board and they use a shotgun approach. They get a list and they just send the same type of email that's not personalized out to everyone. That email is not going to garner as much of a reward as highly personalizing that information and making sure they feel like it's a one-on-one conversation. Theoretically, people know it's not a one-on-one conversation, but psychologically, there's something that happens that can make people feel like it's personalized to them. An example I love to give for this is when you get an email and it might say, hello, Hank, comma, and then it goes into whatever spiel, a sale or products, right? We know that that's not customized, or we know a machine might be doing that. What I like to do is tell clients to inject the name or other information elsewhere in the email in the body. I remember you saying, Hank, that you like to run. Therefore, we have shoes on sale. Your mind just reads through that and it psychologically thinks it was relayed to you. Hopefully that's helpful, because injecting more personalization or more data that you have about something somebody's done or something related to what we'll get into as far as other data, it'll help you get more return for your emails. You want to try to target your audience as much as possible. So obtain as much information or try to develop a persona as much as you can. So the pillars of segmentation are going to be a few different buckets. We have geographic information, such as what country they're in, what city, what's the density of that city, if that's important to you. This is probably the item with the least amount of options, but it is important because location may matter. When we talk about demographics, we're looking at age, gender, income, education, and then occupation. For you, I would think occupation is very important. What do they do for a living? Where do they work? Because if they do not work in the automotive industry, they're probably not a target for you. But then again, on social media, if you push out something that's related to your industry, they may actually share that to someone that is in that industry. When we talk about psychographics, we're looking at lifestyle. We're looking at activity, interest, and opinion, as well as any concerns they may have. We're going to look at their personality. We're also going to look at values, and then lastly, attitudes. You may not think these are important, but by using those, that's where you start to trigger some emotions and some reactions from people. The more you know about your audience, the more personal you can get, the more it's going to help you. Behavioral. So what are they seeking? What type of information do they want? Are you putting out information that you want to send out or that your audience wants to receive? How are they purchasing, or are they joining organizations? Have they joined organizations similar to yours? Then they might be more apt to join your organization. Learn that information. Do some data mining. You know, what's their intent? Is there an occasion coming up? Maybe, you know, they just started in their job and they're doing some research as far as what organizations to join, and they're looking to go to other shows and stuff that might be similar to yours. So you can target them that way and find out what shows they're attending. You know, what stage of the buying process are they in, or, you know, what were they told to do as far as research, et cetera. Find out more information there. And then engagement. Are they engaging? So if somebody's engaging with your emails, you can send them more emails, right? But just be careful. Don't overdo it. This is my favorite topic, email deliverability. When I started at iContact 7 years ago, I thought I knew how email marketing worked. You put an email together, you have email addresses, you hit send, they click on things, they buy things, they join, you know, organizations, et cetera. But learning what I know now, I think it's important to talk about it, because there's nothing worse than having your email go to the spam folder, right? Because it's not going to be seen. The thing is, the more you don't know, the more it's going to hurt you. There's this thing called a domain reputation, or a sender score. It used to be where providers like iContact had very great IPs to send from with high sender scores. That's still true. Organizations like iContact do have high sender scores for our IPs. But many of these email providers, especially Gmail, because they have advanced algorithms, they're actually looking at the sender's domain, your domain address. And what they're doing is they're giving you a quote unquote credit score. And if you've ever signed up for a credit card when you were younger, you know you have to build that credit up, and then you get more of a limit and you can buy more things, right? And you have a reputation. When you start sending emails, or when you've been sending emails, these providers like Gmail and Yahoo, they're looking at what you're doing. How many people are engaging with your email? They might be opening it, starring it, marking it as important, clicking in there, anything that shows positive interaction. On the other side, if the email's bouncing to that particular provider, if they're marking it as spam, if they're ignoring it, deleting it, those are negative. And let's say that that credit score starts going downhill, starts becoming negative. Making up a number, say it gets to 60. Gmail might say when they reach 60, they are not really a relevant sender. What we're going to do is start sending more of their email to the spam folder. Now, I say more because you might come back to me and say, some of our people are still getting our emails. Yes, that's true. A majority of them are the folks that are engaged with you still. They're engaging with your content over time. They've continually opened, they started, or they went into the spam folder and pulled it out, and that's called TINs. This is not spam. If a user goes into the spam folder and takes it out, that shows a high level of engagement. When you have a lot of that negativity, what's going to happen is new people that sign up and people that are not that engaged with your email, those emails are going to start going to the spam folder. And I don't know if you know, but when you obtain a bad credit score, it's hard to get it back into the positive again. It takes a lot of work. It's like losing weight. It's easy to gain it and it's hard to lose it when you want to, right? Because you don't notice the negative things happening. Same thing with email deliverability. What you want to do is make sure that you're consistently cleaning your list of people that are not engaging. And with Gmail, and when I speak about Gmail, you might say, well, yeah, some of our users use Gmail and they may give us their personal Gmail, but most of our clients are B2B. There are so many organizations that use Gmail to facilitate their email that they're still using Gmail's algorithms. That example still pertains. What you want to do is identify someone maybe who hasn't opened in 6 months or a year and send them a welcome series of emails. I always like to send an email and use the example of the subject line saying, are we breaking up, ? You see an email like that from somebody you know, from a brand, what do you mean we're breaking up? You know, you're going to open that email. And in that email, it's going to say, we notice you haven't been opening our emails. We want to know if you still want to receive emails from us and receive this information or these benefits, right? Give them a chance to opt out, or if they opened it, or click yes in that email, if you have a button or a link, they'll remain on your list. Send them a series of about 3 emails. And after that 3rd email, if they don't open, just remove them. You can always add them back later on. But what's important is it's going to boost up your open rate, right? Because right now you might have dead weight and those people are pulling your percentage down. And then it's going to show the providers that you're a relevant sender, and you'll start getting into the inbox more. You mentioned a 99% deliverability rate, but how many are being accepted in the inbox? That's the goal. All right, so with marketing automation, you're going to be able to send the right message at the right time to the right person and help you develop some of your content up front so that you're not doing a lot of work down the road. There's nothing worse than saying, it's Thursday afternoon, I need to get an email out by 3, I got 2 hours to create it, and who do I send it to, right? So what you're gonna do is you're pressed for time, you're gonna rush, and it's not gonna be the best email. Marketing automation, you can either set things up ahead of time, or you can have them be triggered to go out based on data or behaviors. Marketing without automation, that means there's going to be a continual repetition of tasks. You're always going to be doing something every week. You're going to be creating that email and sending it, or maybe you're going to look and see who opened it and then following up with people who didn't and then resending that email. With automation, you can take care of all that ahead of time. You're not going to be able to follow up with people right away. Again, if you send an email out and they didn't open it and you want to send it to them 3 days later, you have to go back, copy the email or create a new one, change the subject line, send it out. Marketing automation, you can automatically do that, check for people who have not opened. Then we have a lack of personalization. Yes, you can inject first name and some other information with regular email marketing, but with marketing automation, you have so much more data that you can use to be personalized. There's going to be no visibility into what people are not doing unless you manually run reports. You can automate the re-engagement campaign I just spoke about. You can automatically say, if somebody hasn't opened in 6 months, let's go ahead and send them these 3 emails. And if they don't open these 3 emails, let's automatically remove them from the list. And then I always like to say you're going to need a lot of aspirin because, you know, it's an overall headache to do everything manually. With automation, you're going to be able to automate repetitive tasks, things you send out all the time. Maybe it's a renewal. You can have that set up to say 1 year from this date, send this email out, or 11 months, give them a month to decide if they want to renew, or if they're not doing something, sending out communication. You can create triggered events and personalized emails. You can also integrate your social media. One great thing to do is you could check and see, okay, they have not been opening my emails, but they follow me on Twitter. Maybe I need to reach out to them on Twitter. Maybe that is their preferred method of communication. And it incorporates landing pages and provides what we call funnel reports so you can see what's going on. If you have a dedicated landing page for something you're trying to accomplish, you're going to be able to convert more as well as track a lot more data. And then it can help you nurture your leads over time. Maybe it's setting up a series of emails to go out that inform them about your organization. And then also something called lead scoring, which is based on an action or data. You can assign or deduct points. If they have a title of, you know, X, we can give them 10 points. If they've opened more than 3 emails, let's give them 20 points. Once they get to 100 points, maybe it warrants a phone call or maybe it warrants a special email. All right, so what we want to do is make sure that you're doing the right things, especially if it's with automation, so that you can do your job better. Key automations with workflow are going to be nurturing leads, sending out that welcome email that I just discussed. You can do onboarding. So if somebody becomes a new member, what you can do is automatically send out a series of emails telling them information about what it means to be a member, right? You can do the re-engagement. It can be educational. Thank you for signing up. Here's some information about us. Wait 3 days. It's more information. Next one maybe is asking for referrals. Do you know anyone else in the industry that might want to become a member? And in retail, it'd be a banding shopping cart, which you can automate and send out information based on people that are buying products or not buying, putting something in their shopping cart and then leaving the website. You can ask for recommendations, referrals, and renewals. And when somebody unsubscribes, you might be able to find out more information. Why did you unsubscribe from our emails? Is there too many emails coming to your inbox? We would love to reduce that if you stay with us. Ask those questions so that you're going to be more effective. So if you implement email marketing best practices in marketing automation, you'll have a recipe for some great success. What I want to do is challenge you to use the information that we spoke about to do some better things and get some more engagement. And know that, yes, there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.